Internet peoples, and welcome to a brand new episode of Epic Geek Out, the only show on the internet that always moves at 88 miles per hour. I'm your host, Chad.
And I'm your host, Rob. But Jesus Henry Christ, Chad.
What?
It's the name of the movie we will be reviewing today. And like always, you can follow us on Twitter at Epic Geek Out.
Also, send in emails to us. We appreciate that. fans@epicgeekout.com.
And what's the best thing they can do for us?
Subscribe
To what?
to our YouTube channel.
There you go.
Because then you'll get all the updates when we come out with new episodes. You also get our little subscriber count up, which we love seeing.
Love seeing. And Chad, what are we doing on Thursday?
On Thursday, we're going to be talking about iOS games, some little cheap games that you guys can
Time
play
fillers,
in
cheap
your
to
free
free.
time.
Cheap to free.
Right, yeah, some are free. So let's just get into today's episode.
Our review of Jesus Henry Christ.
Jesus H.
So today we are reviewing a little indie movie called Jesus Henry Christ. It stars Toni Collette, Michael Sheen, Jason Spivak. I might be pronouncing that wrong.
Is that the kid?
That's the little kid, and Samantha Weinstein. It's a movie that follows this young kid who is named Henry, and he's kind of born a savant. You see him early on as a baby speaking his first words, which are comical. Some of the worst CGI I've ever seen in a movie since I Am Legend. But
worse than that.
It basically follows him. His mother had 4 brothers, all of whom...
Maybe even, well, there was the twins and then, I don't know.
All of whom were either gone or
4 or
passed
5.
away. And basically she was left at the early age of like 13 or something around there to take care of her father, who has never done a wash, never cooked food for himself. And basically she has this child who is above intelligent, and his intelligence gets him into some trouble. And it's about his search for his biological father, because he sees the disconnect and he really just wants to meet his biological dad.
He was a test tube baby.
Or a petri dish,
Yeah.
as a joke in the movie is. So again, it's an independent movie, and Chad, what did you think of it?
Well, it reminds me of an episode of Entourage, actually, surprisingly.
I've
There's an
never
episode of
drawn that
Entourage
conclusion, but okay, go
where
ahead.
they're making the indie movie Medellin, I believe.
Okay.
And they say, well, we don't have anything to put out, but we don't need a good movie. We just need a good trailer. I saw a trailer for this, and I was into it, excited to see it. I thought it looked intriguing. Kind of that life. I like indie movies that I've liked in the past are ones that like deal with life issues.
Or do a little issue, but show how it affects the whole family. I think like
Yeah.
Juno did that well. Little Miss Sunshine, movies like that. So
Yeah, just like feel good. Oh, life's great, isn't it? That kind of movie. This really wasn't any of that. It was kind of miserable, and everyone in the movie was pretty much miserable and loathsome. Especially that little girl. She was
horrific.
B word. Let's just say that. And the movie as a whole was very like narcissistic. It was very into itself, full of itself. Did things to try to be artsy and cute, but it was really just, you could tell that they were doing it just to be like, ooh, look at me, I'm an indie movie. It wasn't natural.
Very much that. Yes.
It wasn't like, none of it had like a purpose or a reason. A lot of things. There were some scenes that I liked. I did like the beginning when they were showing the family through the photo type thing.
Yeah, it was a good way to start.
Yeah, it was a really neat little scene and way through to introduce you to the family. I liked the kid. I thought he was a good actor for the most part, and he kind of was interesting to watch. But all in all, I didn't really see a message that I was supposed to take away from it. I didn't really see really what I was supposed to get out of it, besides the fact that it was trying to be an artsy movie, which is okay in some respects, but not for this movie. I just didn't really see a purpose to it, really. I guess is the best way to describe it. There were some little clever word plays and stuff throughout, but all in all, I wasn't really impressed with it.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna. You hit a lot of good points. The kid, he was a decent actor. Didn't have to do too much in it.
Right.
He played up the whole being a savant, like just being smarter than the adults. So they just had to give him some, larger vocabulary words, and he did it. Michael Sheen was completely underutilized. I think he's a great actor.
He was kind of goofy too. Like I didn't really get his character. At all. Really.
Everything about it was kind of just. Independent movies are quirky. They have those feelings. They have that general tale. If it's a family, tale, it's going to be how this family gets through something, and it's going to be done in a quirky manner. But I felt like this just tried to take the quirk to a new level. and try to like
It was
make
just
it
the quirk. It wasn't anything else.
Yeah,
there was no substance
exactly.
behind the quirk. It was just quirk.
It was just like, oh, let's do this unique. Let's try to do this. And it's like after a while, it just gets tiresome. And the movie wasn't too long,
but
it seemed like it was like a 2.5-hour movie, which doesn't bode well. I mean, so there aren't much positives to this. I didn't enjoy anything really in the movie. The opening was done kind of well, and when the family members were dying, which, you know, it's not a huge spoiler, and it was done in an interesting way, and it was kind of like, oh crap, they did that?
Yeah.
Oh, like, crap.
Shit. Yeah.
But then it got unoriginal, and or they were trying to be so original, they were unoriginal. And a lot of people screaming at points, which like I had to mute the TV. Like, so it didn't hit any of those like familiar levels of an independent. I couldn't sympathize with the characters.
Right. Yeah.
There were so many points where, like, when the kid gets angry at his mom, there was no reason to get angry at her at that point. Like, if they wanted to build something up where he was mad at her, they could have done it so much better. But he got mad at her for trying to be a good mother. So I just didn't follow that, and the whole thing kind of was just grating on your nerves, and you know, it just wasn't enjoyable, and I don't think it was filmed well or had a great story to carry it. You know, it wasn't like one of those unenjoyable movies where you're like, holy crap, that's actually a good movie.
Right.
It was one of those like, wow, holy crap, why did they keep making these choices one after another, after another, after another, just to try to differentiate themselves from
I didn't like the filmmaking either, the way it was shot. It was just very much of the same.
Steady cam with the environment going on around them.
Yeah.
Which like when the girl was screaming and you know, there were the spitballs
a lot of centered
or whatever,
shots,
or the post-it notes.
Which is good. Good filmmaking has varied shots, and they're all very similar. For me, it just seemed like you couldn't differentiate. It was going from one shot, everyone's centered in the frame.
Sure.
Another shot, everyone's centered in the frame, and it got boring, which is part of, I think,
it got really,
what contributed
really boring
to that part of the movie. But you said Ender for the kid. He could be a good Ender for Ender's Game.
Yeah, and damn you, I was actually going to bring this up later.
I didn't know if you
But yeah, no, I was actually, I'm going to maybe talk a little bit more on my thanks, so this is a little prequel to that. I guess we should go over thanks beforehand. But they're shooting Ender's Game, and like the whole time I was watching this movie, I kept seeing that kid in that role, being the young, you know, in this movie he was supposed to be smarter than everyone else, and he carried himself well. So I could see this kid, you know, fitting in that role. I mean, they've already cast it, I think, with the kid from Hugo, but yeah, just not a good movie. It's not one that I would even say watch if it was free. And sorry,
it came out in theaters this week and also is on video on demand, which is kind of neat that they are putting out indie movies like that for more exposure on video on demand.
Which I think, if we can talk about that selection process, I think that's great for independent movies. That this, if we wanted to see this, maybe we would have to go into a major city to see it, and it wouldn't be at our local theaters. But the fact that we were able to watch it on video on demand I think it's great to release and a great way to promote independent movies.
For sure.
And also, like, the internet's doing it with comedians, like Louis C.K. did it for his comedy special where it was $5 and didn't put any, like, people could have pirated it, but they're just like, oh, well, we'll pay $5.
Yeah, might as well.
So I love that aspect of it. And, you know, we caught the fans' hope on video on demand.
Yep.
And I just think it's a really interesting way to have more appeal to the accessibility is really, it's where it's at. So that was one good thing about it.
Yeah, I mean, overall, just I didn't get it, really, is what it is. And I don't think that there was anything to get. So, like, there's movies where I can respect the fact that there's a storyline, maybe that I don't like, or maybe that just I don't get it, and that's fine. But this, I didn't really think that there was anything there that anyone would really
And I was hoping a couple days after I might have been like, aha, that's what they were going for.
Yeah, no.
But they weren't going for it.
They were going for it to make a weird artsy movie, and it didn't work. So I say don't check it out.
Yeah, I mean,
I hate saying that because I want everyone to support indies, but
yeah, I wouldn't. I would have to be kidnapped to watch it again. So I mean, definitely don't pay any money for it. And if it happens to be on,
it's a snoozer. It might be. I was doing some other things while we were watching it, so
yeah, it wasn't that good.
All right, well, that is Jesus H. Christ, Jesus Henry Christ, and also the title of the movie that was weird how they implemented that into the.
I thought he was going to be the son of God.
Yeah.
Sorry, spoiler, he's not. Like, just because people said it throughout the movie. Like,
Yeah.
that was, yeah.
Multiple
So
times.
that built it up to be another level, and it just didn't hit anything like that. So do not check it out, is my
Unfortunately,
opinion.
yeah.
So it's that time again of the show to give our thanks. Chad, what are you thankful for today?
I'm going to give a little thanks to a location specifically, but more generally, the concept. So I bet you're sitting on the edge of your seat right now. We have a little movie theater by us. Not little, really. It's called Movie Tavern. It's a pretty cool concept, and there is multiple franchises all across the United States. Also, more famous is the Alma Draft House, similar kind of concept. But basically, it's a movie theater that has really comfortable big seats with tray table things, and they serve food during the movie. They also serve alcohol during the movie, which is more importantly
Really cool.
Awesome. Milkshakes, margarita bar.
Yeah, it's
awesome stuff. We went a couple times to see a couple movies. I saw
Captain
Muppets.
America.
Well, that was the first one we saw. I saw the Muppets there. I forget, we saw a couple other ones. I might only been there
Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, which is a great movie. Yeah, so it's really cool. Not for every movie, definitely.
It's awesome
can be
to bring
distracting.
people to.
Yeah, because
Is it
people
not?
that don't know what it's like, what? You can get food, and the chairs are huge.
And they don't have like a Regal Cinema gift card, but they have a beer mug as their like.
Yeah, which
thing.
is awesome.
So that's
I actually
cool.
have a gift card right now for there, so I have to go get there and see a movie soon. But really cool concept. Like I said, I wouldn't want to go see every movie there. It's definitely has distracting elements of it, but awesome little experience and a lot of fun. So,
Yeah, and the Alamo Draft House, they're opening up in New York soon and Washington, D.C. So hopefully we're right in the middle of there. Hopefully we get to go see one of them
maybe
soon.
put one in Philly.
Yeah, I think that'd be a really cool thing.
Cool. So what are you thankful for?
Well, we talked about this a little bit in the
spoiled it,
review.
I'm sorry.
But I am thankful for a book, Ender's Game. It's written by Orson Scott Card. It is the best science fiction book I've ever read, and it was one of those books that I picked up and I could not put down. It has a wide range of sequels, one from the same events that happened, but in one of the other kids' point of views, Beans, to be specific, and then a ton of other sequels. I've read some of the sequels to it. They're not as good as the original. The original is, and like I said, it's also being made into a movie. Gavin Hood, is it?
Yeah.
Who is doing, I'm not sure if he's directing or just getting the project off the ground, but I'm really excited to see it. The movie it's going to have its difficulties having kids as the main stars and the emotional
yeah, that's a lot of movies that have
crap
kids.
that they have to
It
go through, and
sucks.
it's a lot of emotional crap. But before the movie comes out, go read the book. You can get it at any library. It won a crap ton of awards.
I read like half of it, and that's not saying anything bad about the book. I just don't like to read really
Yeah.
sometimes. So it takes a lot for me to get into a book. I think I'm ADD, but yeah. So,
It's
but it
great.
was good what I read. I liked it a lot.
And I know a lot of other friends, they read it and got through it pretty quickly, and it's just one of
not a
those
big book,
books that it's kind of genre defining. So definitely pick that up if you haven't already, and that's what I'm thankful for today.
Cool, awesome. So we'll be back with another episode on Thursday. We're going to talk about some iOS games. We're excited about it. We hope.
Oh,
you
and a
guys
mini
are.
thanks. I am so excited for the Avengers.
Yeah.
If you went back
it's gonna
and
be-
saw our, what we're most excited for thing, it might be changing for me. So be
Oh,
looking up for kind of an
shit.
Avengers extravaganza out of us.
Yeah, it's coming. That's
within the
coming
upcoming
in like
weeks.
2 weeks, I
Yeah.
believe. So we're trying to get there. I'm gonna be away in Florida, so I want to see it, so we can do a review. But look for that. We'll see you guys on Thursday. Thanks for watching this episode of Epic Geek Out.